What's going on, guys? Today we're talking about all the new presentation features coming to NHL 25. The first one I want to talk about is definitely the biggest. It actually affects all modes, and that is the new grudge match feature, which EA actually just released a video of today. Let's check it out.
Hughes crushed this team the last time they went head-to-head. He had a few goals and a few crunched bodies the last time he played against them. One side looking to keep on rolling, the other looking for redemption.
So my initial thoughts on that, guys, is honestly, I think it's really cool. Obviously, though, it is quite arcadey. In an ideal world, that would be followed up with like your full presentation with the guys walking out the tunnel, seeing the goalie stats, things like that. Unfortunately, I don't think that's coming to NHL 25. There's been no mention of it. We have all the new presentation features listed, and unfortunately, that is not one of them. Having said that, we will talk more about the new grudge match feature. And now, in regards to the graphic here, guys, you'll see in the middle it says last 5 games, 3-2 Devils. That's actually not the series. That's just the last game they played. If there was more games to go off of, but also show the scores of those games next to this one with the winner. So you can see the Devils are up 1-0 with that 3-2 win. Definitely should say wins, not win for the Canucks, but hopefully that's fixed in a patch. But there's some more information in this paragraph here. As I stated, the all-new grudge match system tracks the history of matchups between teams, and that's across online and offline mode. So I think this is pretty sweet. Obviously, you'll get in franchise as well as Be a Pro. That might be like the only new feature coming to Be a Pro this year. As well, too, it's going to be in HUT and ESHL. So I think that's really cool, especially like HUT. You might not realize you played a guy 3 or 4 times this year. Then you get the grudge match thing. You see you're actually, 2-1 against him, whatever it is. Same with ESHL. Play in different clubs. I think they'll definitely just, add some intensity to matches that might not have had it in the past. Also, too, bragging rights. If you're playing a friend or whatever, you'll actually, have that record displayed in game, not just on a stat screen in the menus. It says showed relevant stats from previous meetings. It says, too, grudge match also includes impact players who are in special X factors related to their standout performance in the previous matchup. So you guys might have seen that in the clip I showed. You had like that, kind of purple X factor. That was your, special X factor. It almost looked like a Superman, I think, when you zoomed in on it, like the cape there behind the hockey play. So both Jack and Quinn had that from their previous matchup. Again, I'm thinking that was just like a kind of sample of what we'll actually get in game. I don't expect the Devils and the Canucks to be an actual grudge matchup. I feel like when they actually play, the teams are probably trying not to hurt the opposing team's superstar, who's also, the brother of the other team's superstar. I'm thinking this will be more for your battles of Albertas, Toronto, Boston, Rangers, Islanders, etc. It also says there'll be new contextually driven cinematics and commentary that turn up the heat of rivalries. And I actually saw a bit more detail on that somewhere else that said the crowd will remember the heroes and villains of previously played games with added commentary to push the story. So basically, if you're the Devils and last time you beat the Canucks, it's going to talk about how Jack Hughes scored that game-winning goal or whatever. But if you're Canucks and you're playing the Devils, it'll probably say how, Jack Hughes scored the goal, how terrible that is. I'm assuming it's going to, change the commentary based on which team you are, because, hero or villain is very, subjective to which team you're on, unless some guy went out there and committed a felony or something. So overall, very excited for this, guys. Again, I know it is quite arcadey. In an ideal world, I think you would have this play before that full presentation, like I mentioned, but I do think as an added feature, I am still excited for it. Hopefully, too, it's something that you can skip if people don't want to watch it. But overall, I do think it's a cool new feature. I really like the animations they showed. I'm hoping, too, we can get kind of, more animations like that in other places. Maybe, for instance, in franchise mode, watching an actual awards ceremony where you have, the Art Rush Trophy winner go out and accept the award. If they can do this, I'm not sure why they couldn't do that. Next up here, guys, we have next-gen characters. I think this has been touched on a little bit already. But as you can see here, it says, thanks to the introduction of Sapien technology and the power of the Frostbite engine on PS5 and Series X. Again, this game's only coming out on next-gen consoles. All of NHL 25's in-game characters have received a serious visual overhaul. I put out a tweet, I think, and an Instagram post showing Quinn Hughes, NHL 24 versus NHL 25. So you can see kind of the difference there. I think a lot of it has to do with the shading. I feel like, NHL 25, Quinn Hughes is definitely the, tall, dark, and handsome version. NHL 24, everything's like a bit lighter, a bit rounder. There's also been some screenshots of other players. For instance, right here, you get our first look at Steven Stamkos on the Nashville Predators. You also get your first look here at the pregame screen, which I think looks pretty nice. And then again, you got pictures here of Connor Bedard looking, I think, better than NHL 24. You also got Sid the Kid. Of course, there were those other graphics of Jack Hughes and Luke Hughes. So overall, I think, the players definitely do look better. For me, the main thing would be just seeing how some of those other, lesser named players look now. Do they have a much, more realistic game face? And as you can see right here, it says all of NHL 25's in-game characters received a serious visual overhaul. So hopefully that's more than just like the shading. Hopefully, every single everyday NHLer actually has a better looking, more realistic face now. So definitely excited for that. Also too, with the Sapien technology, I mentioned it in the gameplay video, but you'll actually see their hair move more on the ice. I think Lusterinen here in the gameplay video, you could see that happen. And then finally here, guys, we have the infinite camera system. So this one's gonna be kind of tough to show. I don't think we've got any footage of it yet. So according to this, guys, they completely revamped replays with increased variety and authenticity of angles. It mentions some of the things they're doing for that with wire, drone, and other static camera positions. I feel like this is definitely one we'll have to wait and see on, because they've mentioned having better replays before, and then of course we get those like weird ones with the cameras going behind the net and you can't see anything that's happening, or it's up in the stands, it's too far to actually see stuff. So hopefully this does address, you know, some of the issues I just brought up, and if it does, that would definitely be a welcome change. And then I think the final thing, guys, for presentation, I've already touched on in the gameplay video, and that of course is just the new score clock. You've probably seen it on social media or whatever, but finally they got rid of that one at the bottom that was just so dumb. Like, you'd have to take your eyes off the puck. Now it's back to being up in the top corner. They've also redone how it looks. I think it's definitely sharper now. Shows the shots on goal. I'm a big fan of it. Like I said before, I hated when it was at the bottom. I wish they would have done this change sooner, but I'm glad it finally happened here for NHL 25. I think that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and as always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and have a nice day. Goodbye.